All right, guys. Thanks for joining us for today's session. Yesterday, if you guys remember, we were working on uh, generating or creating the endpoint that searches eBay for its gift card listings, and we have what eBay gives us, and we created our own endpoint that kind of in a way proxies them. But essentially, when we hit slash listings, it gives us some very basic ideas of the limit, the offset, the summaries. And inside each of the item summaries, it gives us the item ID as well as the price and the categories. We can double check, right? And the buying options. The next part that we're very very interested in though is the browse portion, and the browse portion will tell us very important information like the brand, the cost, and the gift card face value, right? Those are all very important things, and maybe one other thing. Maybe the end date, item creation date, item. Oh, it doesn't tell us when the listing ends. That's fine. So for now, maybe we just want three things. Maybe perhaps we want the brand, the value, and the list date. And maybe we'll add in two more things to make it more interesting later on. We might want to add something like compared to cardcash, right? Is it profitable? And perhaps maybe we want to add something like if it is profitable, how much money would we make if we did do this trade at the current price, right? Those are all things that we might want to take into account. So let's go ahead and code that in right now, right? So um, remember over here in our list in our slash listings, um, inside our over here, we still have to provide the item ID. Everything else, such as the authorization token and the headers, those are all kind of set in stone, so we don't have to worry about it as much. So let's go ahead and code that in. If you guys remember, the first thing we want to do is inside our controller, let's create an endpoint here, right? Let's do get mapping, and maybe we can do something along the lines of like list in detail, right? And maybe we'll create a public eBay listing details DTO, something like that, right? And we'll create this object really quick, and we'll say something like get eBay listing specifics DTO. Perfect. Looks good. And perhaps inside our model under eBay, we will create this object here that we just instantiated. So new Java class right here. Beautiful. And that should be imported. Looks good. And of course, we have our Lombok constructors here that we have to copy and paste. So data, all args, no args constructor, and a few things that we want, right? We want obviously a string of the brand, right? Maybe we want a double of the purchase price, right? Double gift card value, right? Maybe a double of the card cash sale price, right? Or we could do sale price or offer price, doesn't really matter. We get the idea. And Boolean is profitable. Maybe that's another Boolean that's another thing that's very important to us, right? Because we want to make sure that it's always profitable. And maybe we'll do one more thing, like a double profitability or arbitrage opportunity, right? And the arbitrage opportunity will tell us that if we buy and sell this gift card at its current price, I can't spell opportunity, so I have to look it up because I'm dumb. If we buy and sell this gift card at its current price, how much money would we make or lose off this trade, right? So let's go ahead and do that. And so over here, obviously, we want to make sure that we have a request param. And I forgot how to do the request param. I think it's value, right? So we have to request parameter for obviously the not the store name, but the listing ID, right? String listing ID. This is going to be lowercase. And if objects dot, and I'm going to teach you guys a very cool little thing, okay? I didn't teach you guys earlier, and I should have, but it's not a big deal. Notice how in the past I had a string util is null or empty, right? Then you throw a bad exception. But really, there's a better way to do it. Because take a look at this. This is really annoying because it takes 3 lines of code. I got to do this one, I got to do this one, and I got to create a bad request exception. Not really my style. I don't like it, right? And we already have an exception here. So all I got to do is I got to just add this one line, non-null, not empty. I think non-null is fine. So what non-null means is that Spring will automatically check and make sure that the string is not even null. And as long as it's not null, then we're all set. So then we return eBay service dot get listing details. Okay, let's go ahead and go into the eBay service real quick. All right, let's create this method. Public eBay listing DTO. And what do we call this here? Get listing details, right? And we have a string listing ID. All right, and of course we're going to pass in the listing ID here. And then, so inside our service class, now our service class, the first thing it has to do is go ahead and contact the eBay client, right? So we're going to go ahead and do something like this. eBay client dot get listing details, and we'll code something just for that. So let's go to our eBay client and public listing eBay listing. Let's do single eBay listing details, DTO, get listing details, and string listing ID. Perfect. And we will go ahead and code that in. Looks good. And so now over here, we have to create this object called single eBay listing details, DTO. So let's go ahead and implement that. Looks good. And inside our single eBay listing details, DTO, let's do a really quick pop quiz. Let's see how many of you guys know this. What should I be putting inside of here? What should I be putting inside of here? Maybe you guys can tell me. Anyone?
Is it the same information, like with the limit and the offset and the?
Yes.
Oh no. Is it the same? Because I remember about the price and the value.
Yes, exactly. We're going to go ahead and populate this DTO with the structure that eBay has given us for the response, right? So in this case, eBay has given us a response that looks like this. So we pretty much have to copy it, right? So there's a few things that we want to get. We want to get the listing price, right? We want to get the gift card value, and maybe we want to get the gift card brand. Those are the most important parts of this specific listing, right? So if I do a control F, I can see that and one more thing. This is going to seem a little bit dumb because I think in the US marketplace, everyone's always going to charge US dollars, but just in case, maybe a gift card currency. I'm going to skip that. I'm just going to assume that the currency is always USD. But um, we can't just put string currency here because or string value because it's under the object price, right? So what we have to do is we have to do something like a eBay item price DTO. I think we might already have one. Value in currency. Perfect. So we can reuse this DTO here. So we have a eBay item price DTO, and what's this called? It's called price. And this price will tell us the value, the price of of how much it's going to cost us to buy this listing, right? Let's take a look at where it says $60. One moment. Okay. Over here, we have something called localized aspects. So inside our localized aspects, two of the very important things is A, the brand, and B, the value in dollars that this object is worth, right? So all we have to do is then create a new DTO called the localized aspects DTO. New Java class, localized aspects DTO. Right, add that in. We're going to add that in. Localized aspects. Okay. And obviously in the new DTO, we also always have to put in what? Our long constructors. And then inside each of these items inside here, oh, and mind you, this is an array, right? So we have to store this as a list because it's not just one localized aspect DTO, it's a whole list of them. So go ahead and import this. Perfect. And inside the localized aspect DTO, there are three things. There is the type, the name, and the value. So we're just going to go ahead and add all these. String type, string name, string, not description, but value. And sometimes this value could be like a number. It may or may not be, but it always stores it as a string. So I'm not too worried about it. Okay. So now that we have all that set in place, let's go ahead and implement it. Import this class. We'll go ahead and copy and paste most of these, right? Because it's almost the same request. There's only two parts that are different. The URL is different, and obviously every time the listing ID is going to be a little bit different, right? So we're going to leave the headers the same. We're going to use the same auth token, right? Because our authorization token doesn't change. The one thing that we are going to put in is that the search gift card URL. We're not searching for a gift card. What are we doing? We are public static string. We are search listing URL, right? And for the search listing URL, we are going to copy and paste this here. And we're going to % this right here, right? And then what I mean by %s, I'm going to show you this very cool thing, right? Because our URL is always changing. Now the front part is always the same, right? But depending on what the item ID is, we want to replace this %s with our item ID URL, right? So over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something called string.format. And I'm going to put in the listing ID. And what string.format does is that it's going to look for this for this string first, and it's going to say, hey, okay, I found the string, and it's going to look for all the instances where there's a %s. So wherever there's a %s, it's going to replace it with whatever I put here. In this case, it's the listing ID, right? So that should help us in that factor. So refactor, rename. Obviously, we want to turn the first one to a lowercase. And then, last but not least, we're using a single eBay listing details DTO, right? So something like this. Beautiful. And one thing we're going to test here is this. Right here, obviously this worked out. But if someone gave us a bad listing URL, say this one, this is no longer a valid listing, right? ID. What will it give us? A 404 not found, right? So we want to make sure that that doesn't happen. So normally speaking, we get a status code 200, right? So we can do something like this. If, let me go ahead and refactor this. Refactor, rename. The first letter should always be lowercase. Same thing with this one. Refactor, rename. Right? If the response dot get status code is not equal to HTTP status code dot OK, OK, then we're going to throw a listing not found exception, right? And do you guys remember about the whole throwing new exceptions and our advice class? Do you guys need a refresher on that? Do you guys remember what that does? Anyone? Amber, Jean, Lucas?
Yeah, I remember.
No? Okay. So if we throw an exception, remember how over here on our own listings, we have different status codes, right? If I go to http.cat, http cat, remember how we have different codes here, right? So ideally, we want something in the 200 section. But say if our user gave us something that's invalid, we want to throw them maybe something in the 400s exception, something like 404 not found, right? Because what ended up happening was they gave us a listing ID that was what? Not found, right? So what we want to do here is in our code, we want to throw in a new exception called the listing not found exception. And then we want to tell our users, hey, you're getting a 404 back because this specific listing doesn't exist, right? So let's go ahead and create that. A new Java class. And we're going to call it the listing not found exception. Looks good. I'm actually going to go ahead and copy and paste that there. And whenever we see the, we're going to do maybe something like, in our contents, maybe we want to add in like a little, in our errors here. Error string, maybe we can say something like public static string eBay listing not found. This eBay listing does not exist. Something like that, right? And we will throw that in right here. Beautiful. And in our exception handler class, when we want to throw a not found, we'll just simply add our listing not found exception. Beautiful. Okay. So now we know how to handle that. Listing ID. Perfect. Now, the next step is we want to grab all the information that we now have populated inside our DTO into our eBay listing details DTO, right? Because that's very important. So what I'll do is maybe I'll create a builder class, right? And inside here, I'll do something along the lines of maybe string brand, right? Whatever, and string double gift card value is equal to double dot value of whatever. And on the very top, maybe we want to create a builder, something like this. Dot builder. Can I not create an instance of a builder? That's okay. All right. And so inside the brand, what we're going to do is inside here, we're going to dot get localized aspects dot, and we have to look, and remember, inside our localized aspects is a list, right? And do you remember how inside our list, inside our localized aspects, let me see if I can find it. Inside our localized aspects, we have a lot of things, right? We have a brand, we have a type of a food and beverage, we have the value, we have expiration date, expiration month. So there's a lot of stuff that we don't really want. There's only two things that we need. There's the brand and the value, right? And so over here, we have to filter all of it. So all we got to do is create a for loop, right? So for each item inside the localized aspects, right? Get localized aspects. Let's go ahead and take a look, right? If the localized aspect DTO dot equals the brand, which is very important, right? So let's go and put that inside our constants class. eBay, and maybe we'll do something like public static string localized aspects brand is equal to brand, right? So if it's ever equal to brand, give me one moment, sorry. Then what we want to do is we want to go ahead and populate it. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do eBay listing DTO. eBay listing DTO is equal to new eBay listing DTO, and eBay listing DTO dot set purchase price is equivalent to single eBay listing dot get price. Perfect. Double provided. Sorry, one moment. Purchase price. Perfect. So that's a double, but why is this not working? Double purchase price. Oh, dot get value. Okay. Perfect. Okay. And over here, maybe I'll go ahead and populate eBay item CTO dot set brand is equivalent to localized aspects DTO dot get value, right? Because remember over here, what I'm saying is that if the name is equivalent to brand, right? If the localized aspect DTO dot get name is equal to brand, then go ahead and set our own DTO right here, our own DTO to the brand name. And if the name is value, which is the value of the gift card, right? Then we want to do something else. We want to go ahead and set our own eBay purchase. We want to set to something else, and I'll show you that in just a moment. So localized aspects value. I will copy this since it's very similar. And this time, if inside the localized aspects, it contains the value instead. Why is it not showing up? There it is. I don't know why it's doing some weird stuff. Hold up. There we go. That should resolve it. There we go. Then we will go ahead and set gift card value as the localized aspects dot get value, but this time we got to convert it to a double, right? Double dot value of this. Beautiful. Okay. Over here, we will return the eBay listing detail. So there's three things we've done so far, right? If you remember, what we've done is, first thing, we will go ahead and I think I'll start from the very beginning just as a quick summary, and I'll tell you what the next step is. We have a controller class. Why is this annotation not allowed here? Oh, there it is. We went to the controller class. We made sure that the listing ID exists, and we're going to go ahead and pass that into our service class, right? And what we intend to tell our users is the brand, the purchase price of the gift card value, what cardcash is going to offer us if this purchase is profitable, and what the opportunity value is, right? How much money can we make if we make this trade? And so then let's take a look at the service class. Inside the service class, we have gone ahead and used our eBay client to search on eBay for this specific listing, some details about it. And inside here, we're going to grab a few things, right? We're going to be able to get the purchase price, how much it costs to buy this listing. And we're going to loop through it, and we're going to find the brand of the gift card as well as the value of the gift card. And then afterwards, we're going to return it. We haven't yet gotten to the card cash sale price, if it's profitable, and the arbitrage opportunity, but we'll get to that in a little bit. For now, we've only populated the top three, but let's test it out and see if it works, right? So I'm going to stop and rerun this. Okay. Perfect. And I'm going to go ahead and let's hit our endpoint and see what happens, right? We created this at listing detail. So localhost 80/listing detail. And inside a parameter, if you remember, we have the listing ID we have to provide, which is right here. And we'll just take a random listing ID like this one, right? And let's go ahead and give it and feed it in and see what happens. Perfect. We can see that it was able to get the brand as McDonald's. We can get the purchase price, which is $55, and the gift card value is $60. You guys following me so far? Any questions? Does it make sense? Or does it all seem like wizardry to you guys? I want to make sure you guys understand.
It makes sense. I'm getting the grasp of it, but I am kind of wondering as you get deeper.
Mm-hmm. Oh, like wondering like how I'm going to take my next steps, right?
Yes.
Okay, yes. So now that we've gotten the first three, I think the very important part is the last three, right? Our card cash sale price, if it's profitable, and the arbitrage opportunity. Now, if you guys remember, we also had another API, right? Let's take a look at the card cash client. What's in our card cash client? We had, oh, no, not card cash client, sorry, card cash controller. We had a method right here, right? Literally right here. What does it do? We give it a store name, and assuming that the store name is valid, it tells us the store name and the percentage. How much money is Card Cash willing to offer us, right? What for every dollar that we put in that gift card, how many dollars, like real US dollars, will Card Cash pay us for that gift card, right? And so we don't have to recode all of it. It's literally right here. We already did it, right? So what we're going to do is we're just going to use this method that we coded from before, and we can go ahead and find out the card cash sale price and know if it's profitable and how much money we can make, right? So let's go ahead and auto wire the card cash service. Card cash service, right? Card cash service. Beautiful. And oh, sorry, this is the wrong place to do it. We don't do it in the controller class. Remember, this is all logic, so we're going to do it inside the service class. Okay, and then oh, this is the wrong one. I'm sorry, I'm being dumb, guys. My bad. Not the card cash service. This is the not the eBay controller. Right here. There we go. I'm gonna delete that. I'm gonna delete that. Okay. All right. So now that we have the name, the brand, and how much the gift card's worth, we're going to auto wire it at the very top here. Okay. And I'm going to do something like this. Card cash service dot get store percentage. And what store percentage are we going to use? We're going to use the localize the where is it right here? This dot get brand, right? So first of all, let's do an if statement, right? If this dot get brand is not null, because we want to make sure it's not null and not empty, right? So objects dot not non-null, then we can go ahead and look that up, right? And what we're going to get back, if we look at it, where is it? Is an exchange DTO rate DTO list, right? Equals this, right? Okay. And then inside our exchange rate DTO list, we have a list of merchants. And we're just going to pick the first one because the first one, generally speaking, is the closest one. Or we can loop through and find the one that has the highest match rate, right? And so give me one moment. We had a method here. And jar Winkler distance. And so 4. And actually, you know what we can do here? I don't like how the there's one thing I kind of want to tweak a little bit. For our store percentage, it gives us a list of merchants that are all above 0.8, right? But in this case, we want to return the merchant that is the closest to the brand name. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually add a Boolean, true or false here. Boolean, return best store only, right? And in order to make sure that the other method didn't break, I'm going to create kind of like an override where it's just a store name, and it's going to return best store name false. So that way, when the cardcash controller calls it and it doesn't give it a Boolean, right, it's never going to break because it's going to return not only the best store but all stores. But in this case, we want to only get the best store. Best store being the merchant that is closest. So if there is a merchant called McDonald's and there's a merchant called McD, for example, and they're all close enough, we want to pick the merchant that is closest to what eBay gives us. So if it says return the best store only, we're going to change this up slightly, right? Give me one moment here. Double best Jaro Winkler distance is equal to 0. Zero point 0. I think I can do 0.0. Yes. Okay. And if return best store only, and best Jaro Winkler distance, and the current distance is better than the best Jaro Winkler distance. Then we want to do something a little special, right? Otherwise, we're just going to add this in. One moment. If return best store only. Else if. So if we don't care about returning only the best store, we're going to add every single exchange rate detail to our list, right? If not, what we're going to do is we are going to set the best Jaro Winkler distance to the current distance, right? And then what we're going to do is we're going to set the merchant's exchange rate detail list dot set merchants to only the a list dot of the current merchant, which is the I don't know what happened there. Current exchange rate detail, something like that. Why is this out of? Oh. Something like that. Perfect. Okay. Beautiful. So if the exchange rate DTO list objects dot non-null exchange rate DTO list And the exchange rate detail list dot size dot length dot get merchants dot size is larger than 0. Then what we're going to do is we're going to grab just the one and only item in the list, right? So we're going to do something like a merchant details. So one moment, sorry. Exchange rate detail, right? Exchange rate detail merchant details is equal to exchange rate merchant details that get merchant at 0. So this will give us all the merchant details that we need to know about that specific merchant and what cardcash is willing to pay us. Okay. So we're like 90% of the way there, right? And inside here, it will tell us the store name, the percentage, which is what we're really looking for, and other useless stuff like the gift card image, the min limit, and the max limit, right? And so over here, we're going to do a few other things. We're going to say, let's take a look at our what we need. We need the cardcash sale price. So we're going to do eBay listing DTO dot set sale price is equivalent to eBay listing DTO dot, and actually, you know what we can do to make it less messy? We can go like this. Public set card cash sale price and double card cash sale percentage, right? And we can do something like this. This dot card cash sale price is equivalent to, first of all, we need to make sure that the purchase price is not null. Objects dot not null, non-null. Purchase, not purchase price, gift card value, and okay, and card cash sale percentage, right? Then what we can do here is we can set the card cash sale price to be equivalent to the card cash gift card value times the card cash sale percentage, the percentage that they're willing to give us. So let me go ahead and do that real quick. We have an error
Jason?
here. Sorry, yeah, what's up?
Yeah, I have to leave the session a bit
Okay.
earlier today. Yeah, because I have to get up very early tomorrow. It's late on my side.
No worries,
That's
no
okay.
worries.
Yeah.
We will see you next time then. But you'll see us push a PR out shortly for this change, and hopefully you can look through it and it should make sense to you.
Okay.
No worries.
Yeah, I appreciate the help as well to the
Yeah, no
code.
worries. I'm very glad that you're using the Spring Boot and really messing around with it. That's very good.
Yeah. So have a good night, guys.
Good night. Good night. But yes, we're going to set the car cash sale price. And what we're going to do here, dot get percentage. Perfect. So now we have the car cash sale price. And let's take a look at the profitability, right? If the car cash, car cash sale price, so eBay listing DTO, DTO dot get car cash sale price is larger than the eBay listing DTO dot get purchase price, right? Then what we can do, actually, we don't even need to do that. We can just go like this. Do eBay listing DTO dot set is profitable to this thing, right? So basically over here, we have a Boolean to know if it is profitable, and this is going to be a true or false, right? So inside here, we're going to tell it to compare the sale price that we get from card cash and how much it costs to buy this listing. And based off of if this is true or false, it's going to automatically set this Boolean, right? And last but not least, we have an arbitrage opportunity, which is the difference between the sale price and the purchase price. So we can do something like this: eBay listing details DTO dot arbitrage opportunity is equivalent to this bad boy, which is our purchase price, right? Or it's the sale price minus how much it costs us to purchase this item. And let's see why it's not there. Oh, set arbitrage opportunity. Perfect. Okay, let's go ahead and rerun this. And let's see what happens. Beautiful, beautiful. And let me go ahead and run it real quick. Wow, okay. We might have a small bug here. You notice how it says the cardcash sale price? Cardcash is willing to offer us $4,980. So we have a small bug. Let's see exactly what's going on. It's equal to gift card value times the cardcash sale percentage. So let's go ahead and system out print this. Out print. Actually, you know what? This would be a perfect time to use the debugger, right? So let's debug this. We're going to put a breakpoint here. I'm going to restart. Okay. And let me go ahead and send this over again one more time. Perfect. Gift card value is $60. Card cash sale percentage is 83. That's why. Notice how 83 is given us as a whole integer, right? So we want to multiply this by 0.01 because we want to shift this over 2 decimal places. You guys feeling me so far? So that was our issue. Let's go ahead and restart it. Okay. Perfect. So you can see how the cardcash is willing to offer us $49.80 for the $60 gift card. It's not profitable because if we buy it for $55 and we sell it for $49.80, we make a $5.20 loss. So let's go ahead and compare that, right? Let's go to cardcash.com and let's take a look, right? If I sell a McDonald's gift card for $60, right? Exactly as our API said, cardcash is going to offer us $49.80. $49.80. And we have to buy for $55. So if we go ahead and proceed with this listing, we will lose $5.20. I know it says 5.1999996, but we can round it, right? Let's grab another listing, right? Let's just say this listing is a no-go. Let's go with, I don't know if they do Nintendo. Oh, Amazon gift card. Okay. Let's go ahead and do an Amazon gift card here real quick. Where is it? Right, and for the parameters, sorry guys, I don't know where my thing went. Listings, there we go. Is it under listings? There it is. Okay, and maybe we will do this listing instead. Oh, okay. For this one, there's an error. Maybe it couldn't find that exact gift card, so we'll skip that one. Let's go with something that we know more about here. Nintendo, Amazon, Apple gift card. Okay. Yeah, let's do Apple. That doesn't look right, that listing ID. Yeah, that listing ID does not look right. I don't know why. Notice how all the listing IDs look kind of like this, but this one looks really, really off. I don't know why. I'm going to pick another one. Olive Garden. That one looks good. So we can do Olive Garden. Okay, I don't know why there's a exception here. Let's go ahead and run this again, and let's take a look at what's wrong. Error 260. That card cash sale price is no. Oh, okay. If objects dot non-null card cash sale price get card cash sale price. So we want to make sure that that's the case. And I think the reason why is because there's no Olive Garden. It's under something called Darden. I might be wrong. Oh, Olive Garden does exist. That is very interesting. I don't know why it did that. Let's see if we can even get a card cash value right there. It says, okay, we can't get the gift card value. I think that's the reason why. It's because that user did not state in the listing what the gift card's value is. So our thing is having a little bit of trouble parsing it. But that's okay. But I think you guys kind of get the idea, right? It's going through each of these listings, and obviously we have to go ahead and really, really figure out some of the bugs. As you can see, as I go down the listings, there's some bugs for some of them. Like this one worked, right? AMC Theaters, you can see that this one worked. Look at that. Perfect. We can purchase it for $35. The gift card value is $50. I can go ahead and sell it on card cash for $36, and I can make a profit of $1 if I go ahead and purchase this item. Beautiful. You see this? So the idea behind it is that we can look through thousands of listings each day, and anything that is profitable, we can go ahead and buy and resell. And obviously tomorrow I'll show you how to link this up with databases so that it remembers and stores all of the listings that are profitable and kind of go from there. Any questions so far? Hopefully that's kind of cool. We actually have something that works now that can find listings that can make us money.
Right, I'm guessing maybe the next step is to log which ones are profitable, and like can create a listing of those, right?
Exactly, yes. And which ones we've already bought, which ones we're selling, and then we can also implement it so that, say, if there is an auction, we can figure out which ones are about to expire, and before expiry, our APIs will go ahead and double check if the current listing prices are correct and automatically place a bid to the lowest amount where we can still make money.
Right, okay.
Cool? All right. I'm going to assume from the silence that you guys understand it so far. But anyhow, thank you so much for joining us for this week. Next week, I look forward to teaching you about databases, which is a whole beast on its own. And we can go from there about how to log it and stuff like that. Fun.
Gotcha. So I just want to. So basically, what we've done today is grabbed information from the API and created it, basically hard coded it into our own program, and then used our program to compare the two.
Yes, that's right.
All right, cool.
Nice. Okay, sounds good. I will see you guys next week. Bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.